So this is it. Um, it's really very simple as a few words. This is it. Um, or here we are, or um, you see what we're here to be talking about or sharing about or whatever. Isn't a subject. It's not. There isn't a point being made, and there isn't a purpose for this meeting. So it's not like there is an intention for which I wish to relay something that I know. Um, and and it's sort of anew also, just this simpleness. And this is it, or what is, doesn't require an introduction or doesn't require an explanation or doesn't have to refer to a memory or, a piece of knowledge or an experience or because it's just nothing to do with knowing or remembering or saying it right. Because again, it's just simply sitting and talking that is the mystery. But there is a sort of a suggestion being made here, and it is a radical kind of suggestion. And the suggestion, in essence, is that there is no self, there's no center, there's nothing orchestrating this, there's no one anywhere, so there's no one apparently talking, and there's no one apparently listening. And that's the suggestion, and it is radical because probably in every other scenario, something is being explained to someone else. And normally meetings are really about, well, what's in it for me? What can I get? And what can I understand? Or what can make my life better? And that's not the case here. So the suggestion is that is being made here is that there is no self. And the problem with that really is that mostly when suggestions are made, they're made from a place of knowing. So what's slightly awkward about that suggestion being made is that it's not known that there is no self. It's just simply there isn't a self. And that suggestion seems to be heard how it's heard. It's either dismissed or it sort of stirs, let's just say something somewhere. Sort of it's it seems to cause a reaction for some, that sentence, that there is no self. And so we might talk about that, but really at the core of this is just it's energetically what's appearing to happen, an apparent meeting, talking about probably the most radical and yet most ordinary, simple thing. This, so we're in essence talking about talking or talking about this sudden aliveness, this apparently hearing a voice. And so we might share about that, we might not. But it seems to be that in the world of knowing and that life is lived, that this is life, that I am me, and there is a world, and there can also be a sort of dissatisfaction with all that knowing, and that the explanations and that felt feeling for this aliveness, that something seems off, and can be the case that seeking for answers to that happen. appear to happen. And the answers can be sought in anything and everything, because everything that's sought seems to have a sort of a better way about it. And whether that's a load of money or enlightenment or liberation or wisdom or peace or whatever, it's all the same. It's just apparently seeking. And but it seems like stumbling upon this sort of communication that is no one's happens. And there's can be a push and pull with it, because all the while it's been suggested that this is it and whatever is appearing to happen is it. And that there is that this is purposeless and that there is nothing to attain. All the while that's been said, there can be a grappling with that, because, well, why would there be a meeting about nothing? Why would he host a meeting about nothing? Nothing must be something good or whatever. That there might be a felt feeling that there's something's not quite right, no matter what that is. And so again, we might or might not talk about that. I suppose this is just open, and it's a kind of an intro to ground it in the discussion, but it's also it's open, and that you simply cannot do it right or wrong. So there isn't a stupid question, and it may seem like, well, I know what he's going to say, but I don't know what he's going to say. I'm going to say, and nor really do you. So it's just an idea, and yeah, let's have a go at this sort of. Let's appear to have a go anyway, and let's see what happens. And I suspect, but if by chance you haven't been here, just click unmute or stick a question, type a question into the little chat box if you don't like speaking out loud. But yeah, there's no wrong questions. So let's see what happens.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, much better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say the thing that could never be heard was that it's already the case. That there already is no one. It's the inescapableness of
Mm.
that. And then I think I heard you say more recently something to the effect of everything just is immediately what it is. And so there's nothing apart from that to know what anything is. It's too immediate. And I don't know. Well, I enjoyed your book anyway.
Well, yeah, there isn't anyone. So then it's indivisibly just how it appears to be. So almost, you see, the whole thing is always about self, everything, everywhere is about the self. And it's like there's the self in the hand there. And we could talk about the self and we could talk about the self dropping away, but well, there's never a self there. So even though we spent all this time talking about a glass in my hand here, we could talk about the glass in my hand, and when the glass is gone, all will be revealed, but there was never a glass, ever. So there's never a self. There was never control. It's all sort of falling, free falling. It's it's not an idea of timelessness. It's not an idea of boundlessness. It's not an idea of um, anything. So It's just never a self, and it can't then even be recognized. In a sense, just there isn't self. But it seems like because everything can be known, seems like that, then, well, he must know that there's no self, or he knows that he doesn't know that he just did it, or whatever. And we're talking about something that is not there. But it can, this, or what is appearing to happen, can seem though that, like, well, there definitely is, and something needs to happen for all this to be revealed as whole and complete, or whatever. And if that's how it is, you could say these meetings in a way offer nothing but disappointment for that. But also at the same time, the whole secret thing, it reaches a point of hating that also, sort of hating it and loving it, because it recognizes also that it's another little game. So this is the wonderful great equalizer. There's no higher, there's no upper or downer, or no authority on this. Of course, it can appear, because the meeting was arranged, that then the apparent speaker at the start has something, and he's an authority on non-duality, but really that's it doesn't have anything at all, and that's not something to have either. That's not something to have either. Because even that idea of poverty is a total poverty, that can be glamorized as I'd love that poverty. It's not even that then.
So in the introduction, there were the words, the better way. And somehow that sounded so funny.
The better way, God, I can't even, yeah, what should I say?
It was a long time ago.
Oh God, yeah.
But yeah,
better
that
way.
better way. Because what would be the ground for it? On one hand, what is it based on, that better way?
Yeah, I said better way. I can't believe that I said that.
But it doesn't matter. It was
Oh
beautiful.
no, I'm just curious to know what I was saying. That's all.
I can't remember the whole thing, but it was like it's all about the better way of whatever. But it's exactly that better way that's always not as it is. That's always the impossibility.
Oh, you mean seeking is about a better, that there's something better, really. Seeking seems to be
about how things would be a better way, how to improve, how to change, how to da 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 da.
Yeah,
and
it's always
because it's all about that at the end, like how anything could be improved, enhanced, da 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 da.
kind of what, yeah, it's like what's in it for me, really, in a sense. You know, what is there a way to make my life better? Or, I mean, it's a general sort of sentence, I suppose, but I mean, seeking is mostly about better. It doesn't seem to be about trying to make it worse, unless you're into pain. Unless you're into pain, but it does seem to be, or maybe it's seeking anything other than what is.
Yeah, it was exactly that other. That is the hypothetical, the ideal, the better, the whatever, the enhanced, version of what actually is. Like, oh, this is not good enough, let's make it better.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems like, I mean, it's seeking is that really. That's seeking in essence. And whether it's subtly or big, you know, whether it's like that's what you could say seeking is about, anything other than what's appearing to happen. But that's the essence of being someone. It's like a dis-ease with what is, you could say, but that it's not like there is a separate what is. The dis-ease with what is what is.
Yeah.
The uncomfortable, you know, that seeking is it, but like that's what's appearing to happen. It's not wrong or right. It's not like it leads to anything, but it's what is. So in the end, really, like there is just simply what's appearing to happen, but you couldn't seek or not seek. You couldn't get up out of bed and go, right, well, I'm going to stop that seeking now, because I'm going to feel totally comfortable with what is now. I'm just going to accept what is. That's almost like a seeking, because I'm going to do something with what is. And that's also it. That's also what's appearing to happen. So it's a suggestion being made that isn't even like, it doesn't offer anything with it. It's just that the life is already centerless. So then there's just what's appearing to happen, however that is. And all the sentences and all the everything make no difference whatsoever. All the thoughts, all the ideas, everything make no difference.
Yeah, it seems to be a description of an impossibility. That's what it
But the
seems.
description is also this sort of impossibility, because like what we're talking about is this, like it's somehow you could, if you were to put a narrative around it, you could say there's what's appearing to happen, and what's appearing to happen is talking about that. And you know, but you could say in this world of me and knowing that it's a radical suggestion being made, because everything else out there seems to be about what me can do, and every communication, you know, it does seem to be about talking to me, and it seems to be all loads of separate individuals making their way through life, and then somehow this meeting, which is a total fucking mystery that it's happening, you know, it's a total mystery that you know, I appear to be talking about this, this making it something, and but you know what I mean, but it sort of wonderfully then exposes that the mystery is everything.
Yeah.
So it's not meeting, it's not no meeting, it's not, but it's just what's appearing to happen, full and thick with that, you know. But like then again, if you were to put a naming around it, I sort of like the idea of that it's like an interlude almost, a sort of, you know, what the fuck, like, isn't this a total outrageous mystery? But it's the crazy part is that it's a mystery that it's felt to be a mystery, because I don't have a mystery, I don't have anything. So it's just then what is meeting, blah blah meeting.
Here, even an interlude sounds
Exactly. Oh yeah, it's
a
just
little weird, because this
I'm
has no
I
place or time to
no, it's
place anything
timeless.
on
Yeah,
top of it.
I like movies, so probably
How
that's why a
would
word
it
like
be?
that comes out of my mouth. But you know what I mean? I probably some sort of thing in that. But it's more, I suppose. This is also the movie. Then the interlude is the movie. You know what I mean? Everything is this. It's
Yeah,
indivisibly. You can't say it right. It's not like you can go up. I got
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Oh, I've
yeah.
lost it, because it's just fully alive as simply talking. It's fully alive as this. And if it could then be bound by a few sentences to say, well, this is what it is, this is what, you know, we'd be back in a little house of cards, a storybook of what this is. And at the core of it all is a wordless sort of mystery, but that's not it either. Because the mystery also appears as, this isn't a fucking mystery. I know what it is, and I'm not happy about it. I know what it is. I know what he's going to say. I know what the meeting's about, and I've got it, but I don't have it, or whatever. That's also arising as, it's fully, wholly as whatever is.
Yeah, the beautiful thing about it is that taste of boundlessness in it. So all the words seem to allude to that. So that's a nice taste.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it seems it's boundless is a lovely word, but it's boundless can't be held. The boundless can't be held by an image of the word boundless. So then it's energetically just felt.
No, that's the
Not even
beautiful
felt.
thing about it, but it's not definable at all.
It's
It's
not
not anything.
definable. Yeah. It's as I like saying, seems as whatever is, so as descriptions appearing, but equally as seeking, as it's not like, you see, mostly it sort of plays out that something's not quite right, and it seems to be right there for this guy, but it's not right over here, and that's not you know, it's all that's the it's just the dream, but also it sort of can be there can be a total fatigue with all that. That's why, so you could say that these sorts of meetings have a sort of flavor to them, as opposed to anything being said.
So maybe I can share something. How long ago? It doesn't matter. I'm studying a different language, and I listen to different stuff, spoken words on a different language, and I turned on to listen to Thich Nhat Hanh, or however you say exactly his name, the Vietnamese monk, Buddhist monk who died recently. He was preaching mindful walking, whatever. Most of you probably are familiar with him. But, and I just randomly started listening to that. And even though the language is not there, the understanding is not 100% by any means, maybe 50 however much, it was immediately just so clear how it's like a part of the loop of a roundabout. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe
You sort of breaking up me a little bit.
Whoa, these are.
So that your reception just went there.
How much? Yeah. So it doesn't matter, but it was
Well,
so
you were kind of
just
say,
strikingly
I just
clear.
you started to say what you listening to him. That's where I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. It was interesting how clear it was, even in a different language, that it was all part of that loop of how to better, how to. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, well, so yeah, thank you. It can be like that though. I think sort of it can be nauseating, the sense of instantly having this hierarchy in place, and it's all knowing and
Yeah.
knows
But
knows what knowing is. Even it's all, whatever, it's harmless, like but it also can become. It's wonderful if you're on the train of becoming for a little while. It's great fun. It's very exciting because it can be the next one. This is the one. It's going to happen. But it can reach a certain point where that sort of breaks, and the whole loop of knowing becomes so
yeah, exactly.
it just feels off. and you can't quite explain why it's off. But I mean, you can probably do, but so.
And I used to read a little bit of this guy, and it was just funny the way in the past it had sounded quite natural and good, and oh yeah, of course. And now suddenly this whole thing was like, what?
Yeah, yeah.
What?
So I mean, they've always got great titles of their books. You know, with there's always some sort of little enticement about 10 steps to here, or you know, the place of you too can get to the place of peace and bliss. Sure, it's great. Like it's exciting. It's like and it's the same as a new bakery offering a new, you know.
To me, it was just an invitation for the roundabout, but it somehow becomes impossible to get on.
You get on the roundabout, yeah, that's it exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's
Welcome.
kind of like, oh, that sounds really exciting. I'll have a listen
We've
to that.
got good
Maybe,
stuff
and
for
then it's
you.
like, yeah, it's great. It's lovely, but because you know, it's sort of yeah. I know what you're saying there. It's like, oh, maybe, and then it's oh, for fuck's sake. It's like almost wishing for it to be true, and then suddenly you hear it, and it's just.
It just never works.
Well, it's just what's happening then, isn't it? But
Oh yeah, yeah.
but also you can't like do or not do that sort of distaste for it. You can't, you
Oh
know,
yeah,
it's
it's
like
also
suddenly, oh, I can't listen to that anymore. Can't listen to
yeah.
that. And it's all the authority is seen through the upper and the holy. Also is laden down with holiness, like either it's in through the clothes or it's sort of, it's all images and impressions. And it's dressed up as characters of what holy looks like, what at peace looks like, even sounding like that, even the demeanor or the tone of
Oh
voice
yeah.
is all it's so soft and lovely and calm. Fucking
Yeah.
it's whereas what we're talking about is fully alive, uh, fully alive, totally unpredictable, not safe, not knowable. Like, and of course, you know, mostly you know, sitting on a seat is just sitting on a chair, but it's also edge of the edgelessness. It's fucking free fall, but it's not. There isn't a place to get to because at the core of all this, there's just not anyone that can arrive. There's never anyone in the body. There's never anyone thinking a thought, feeling a feeling, you know, growing one tiny hair, growing a nail, breathing, seeing, wishing, apparently choosing, apparently choosing. It's all, there's just not anyone there.
That's done.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
But the beauty of this message, the way if I have to describe it or whatever, that it has nothing to do with that roundabout. That roundabout is just absent.
Yeah,
If I have to describe it as the absence of the roundabout, of all the paths, of all the ropes, of just everything, that when it crumbles, there isn't anything to do in a better way. No.
yeah, lost you, losing you a little bit there, but
whatever.
I think I got the gist of your voice went a little bit, but yeah, I mean there isn't anything, but that's not amazingly, obviously, it's not a doing. It's not like this is so totally impersonal. It's nothing to do with Frank. It's nothing to do with anyone. There isn't anyone. So it's just so it's a mystery, but it can seem like, well, there's a question being asked, and then there's someone who's answering that question. but really actually there isn't even a fucking answer. It's a response and nothing is denied. It's not like it's you know, say, but it just doesn't seem to feed anything like that. It's just, but it's that seems to be how it is. It doesn't feed that seeking, because then we'd be back in knowing, and there'd be someone who'd know what was happening or there, and that could solve that. When this doesn't know how to fucking say fucking, but fucking can be said, and you know, there's just. I suppose it's radical in that sense also, you know, but radical then.
There isn't a separate question, or
No, there's not a separate question, no.
to get a
Yeah.
separate answer.
Yeah,
So
that's it. Yeah, we could
over.
start singing, and it would be this. Yeah, and it would be it's a duet. If even it's not even a duet, but it's all it's just all.
Words can be thrown all day long.
Well, it totally broke up there, but anyway, words are exactly that, a melange of melanges. It's just words are meaningless, really. But then it seems like though there is certain, yeah, it seems like there's certain words are used and certain words are not used, we say. Yeah.
Frank,
Hey,
one of the things that I've noticed is that, like many of the speakers, including you, like there won't be a particular attempt to mask long periods of quiet, like in terms of the face. Like there's sort of an apparent absence of a mask there. Like if there's imagination going on, or if there's tiredness going on, or whatever. I don't even know why I'm saying this, except it's just curious, like, or somebody getting off a 10-hour plane ride and then jumping into a meeting and they just look really like they've been run over. But there's nothing there that's trying to fix it. Or it's such an impression.
you mean hold it together, like?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, it seems to be how it is supposed to. The doing of any, it's just how it is, and it's the apparent silence as much as it is the questions. You know, it's just what's appearing to happen then. Do you want to say that, Maria, or like just this is only ever as is, that's not known, but maybe it becomes obvious that
But
the
I
story.
was thinking the microphone was working.
Yeah, it's definitely
clear.
it's actually not working. Yeah. So I'll read it, yeah, because it got distorted there. So this is only ever as it is, that's not known, but maybe it becomes obvious that the whole story of change, improvement, manipulation, there is no time, place, or intervention or doer, so unclear. And it not being obvious, let's just say, because it's not like it's a thing that becomes obvious, is what is. And that's what's appearing to happen. So, but it's not like it's obvious, but then you could say there is only what's appearing to happen. So, and then everything else is the story. But also, the story element is this arising. So you can't do it right or wrong, or you don't. Yeah. It's not like this is known then that there's just what's appearing to happen. But there is just, well, saying there's just what's appearing to happen is evidently what's appearing to happen. That's what's happening. It's like constantly gone, like it never was. But it is the case. It is. In a sense, the start of the meetings, and it seems to be constantly throughout, there's a sort of seems like if you were to give a narrative, that it's a constant return to this simple immediacy. So we might delve down the rabbit holes, and then it's like, but that's also obviously, but it seems like this sort of gathering, it constantly returns in the communication of what comes out of this gob, is that it comes just a return to simply this. It's always the want is to kind of it's a movement away almost, but it's not like you can then move back. So then it's bullshit, and all there is what's appearing to happen. And if there was like an agenda, then we'd have to do it in a certain way. It'd almost then be a rigid sort of a thing. So you can't get closer or further away from just simply what's appearing to happen. So thank you very much.